Racing number 10 car, Danica. Fantastic. How are you?
Good. How's everybody doing? Cool. It's like a bar stool.
Exactly.
Where's my drink?
Jump up on a bar stool. Well, it comes later tonight, right?
Much later.
You got a little bit of work to do here tonight.
That's right. I'm excited to do it.
How is the car? How are things here at Richmond for you this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Like, we've had a pretty smooth weekend. We qualified okay. We qualified worse than we've been practicing, which is all right. We qualified 19th, so I think that if we have a good, smooth night, we have, I think we got a shot at a top 10. I think a top 15 would be hopefully representative of kind of where we've been all weekend so far. And like you said, hey man, let's go win. I mean, if everything, the chips fall the right way, then, I gotta wait around for Ricky to take his chase pictures anyway, so I might as well do it too.
So have a group shot there, have a couple shot, exactly.
Family photo.
Family photo, there you go. Hey, we've got questions out here, so let's get right to them. Let's start with the young man right over there in the middle. Go ahead, my man.
Danica, I love you!
How about that? That house is in trouble now, isn't it?
I know you do, because I remember meeting you the other day. Thank you.
Awesome. How about that? Kids coming up to you, young girls coming up to you, all kinds of people coming up to you. It's got to be rewarding to not only I love you, but to have young girls that aspire to do what you do. It's got to be very rewarding what you've been able to do and the influence you've had on young folks.
I remember when I first started racing and people were asking about, first started racing in IndyCar and people asked about being a role model, and I'm like, gosh, I mean, I'm just a kid. I don't know how to do that. I'm the one that needs a role model, but as time has gone on and just on the golf cart on the way over here, I was reminiscing about, we were driving out of the bus lot and we were kind of driving crazy on the golf cart, and I was like, it reminded me of way back when, and this is not really very much of a point of a story, but I drove John Madden's bus around Indianapolis Motor Speedway to promote like Monday Night Football or something like that, like a really long time ago. I can't even remember how long ago, and it was mentioned that it was like, hey, that seems like, or it was said like, we've done so many things, and like it just shows how older we are. Oh my God. So 35 years old, I've done a lot of things, and I feel like, I've finally come to a place, well, for quite a while now, where it's my honor to be a role model, and it's an important role, and I don't take that for granted. I consider that with everything that I do, and in this world, I think they're more important than ever. And it also has been a great thing for me because it's forced me to answer the question, what do you want to tell kids? And I'm like, shoot, what do I want to tell them? And it creates some self-reflection, which is like mini therapy. So it's my honor, and it's a cool role to play.
No doubt about it, and you do it very, very well.
Thank you. Well, then you lead me to the question that I always ask kids or adults, and that's, what would you do if you could do anything in the world? And it's funny how I would say kids have an answer more so than adults, which, the question is, what do you like to do for fun? And that is your answer. That is what you should be doing. And I believe you can make a job out of anything. So it's what you love the most that, you don't quit at because you truly enjoy it. And that's how I feel like I got to where I am in racing, is that, nothing I ever did that was hard really ever felt like, some of it was miserable, some of it was sad, some of it was frustrating and challenging, but it was always the way, and it was all about the ultimate goal, not necessarily the pain along the way or the frustration. It was just part of the journey, and if you don't really care about your end result, then you'll quit.
Same story here. I dreamed about talking about racing when I was a little kid, and get a chance to do it and hang out here.
Right, just something as simple as that. Like, I just like to talk about racing, make a job out of it.
I used to call matchboxes around the floor. I did, and I'm with you so much.
You're living your dharma.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Hey, question right down there. Go ahead.
If you weren't a driver, what career would you have and why?
Well, I feel like you're asking at a really good weekend because I'm driving a car not only with my name on the door, but my name on the hood and on the bumper. And I have a clothing line called Warrior, and started in January of this year. It's sold on HSN right now, and I have always wanted to have a clothing line. It's something that I've really enjoyed. I'm far more artistic than analytical and mathematical. For me, also, what I love about racing is the art of it. It's the rhythm, the feel, the balance. It's all, that's what I love about it, not necessarily I don't do the math stuff. That ain't my thing. I was not an Algebra 1 girl, and I only say that because I left high school when I was 16 and didn't even do Algebra 2, so I wouldn't know if I was an Algebra 2 girl. Or geometry or any of that stuff. So I was kind of more of your, you know, English and writing and arts and gym class. So if I wasn't racing, I mean, I'm living one of them now with Warrior, with the clothing line. I also, I mean, I love taking care of myself, so I have a book coming out in January called Pretty Intense, which is a health and fitness book with workout program and recipes that I wrote and photographed and a lot of other good information. I also sell wine, so I bought a vineyard, actually I bought a property and then planted a vineyard back in 2009. So thank you. So that is for sale now this year for the first time. Just a cab now, but in April of next year we'll also have a Sauvignon Blanc and a Rosé all day. I'll be able to drink my wine all year, any occasion.
When the clothing line, how active are you in the design of it? When you created it, are you very active in the design of it?
Yeah, I mean, I can be more, but I don't have time to be 100%, like actually be in the office on the daily and do that kind of thing. But you know, the designers and I work really close together. There's so many times in the beginning that I would tell them things and they're like, "You're in our ear, trust me. We're thinking of exactly what you want, what you tell us." So, I'm really very involved. I would imagine more involved than most, unless it's their primary job. So, as far as celebrities go, to have something like that, or popular, I like that word better, popular people. But I love it. I mean, I love creating a collection that's function as well as fashion. So for me, I feel like I have a really good experience with that, because anybody that knows me or follows me on social media, you know I work out a lot, you know I travel a lot, you know I run around a lot, I do a lot of different things. So I feel like I have really good experience for kind of function versus fashion, and it's bridging those two worlds. So Warrior is an athleisure line, so it follows along with everything that I wear every day.
Sounds good. Great.
I'm wearing my jacket.
How about that?
We have shoes coming out in November, I think. I think it's November.
Modeling the finest Warrior line.
We don't make jeans yet.
Yes, exactly. Question right back there. Go ahead, my man.
Are you going to be racing again next year in the number 10 car?
I don't know about that. Maybe. Maybe not.
Come on, Danica.
Yeah.
It is my number. I mean, it's my number. It was my number when I was in go-karting. It was my very first number. I didn't think too hard about it, apparently, because I just picked it because I was 10 years old when I started.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Works all right.
My sister was number 65, but it wasn't because she was 65 years old.
Yeah, really. I was an older sister.
It was because my dad worked on a midget, a dirt car, and the car number was 65. So
Your dad has an amazing racing background. A lot of passion.
Yeah.
Just share a little
he
bit
knows
about
a lot more about racing than I do. He's the one that was up late last night watching a main of some dirt race.
The Chico, California, probably.
Sure, I don't know. All I know is that Ricky, like the drivers that hang out, we hang out, me and Ricky and Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney, and they're all in this dirt racing cult. I call it a cult. They love it. They watch it all. And so my joke to them, because they watch it on the computer, on Dirt Vision and the Cushion and yeah, whatever, all that stuff. I mean, Anyway, I'm probably doing yoga while they're watching it. But the joke is like, really another one? And I was like, well, which one's this one? They're like, oh, it's a big one. This one is Knoxville Nationals. It's a big one. This one is Ohio Sprint Week or whatever. This is a big one. It's this. And so every weekend I laugh to them and I was like, which one is it? A big one this weekend? They're all big ones. And that was funny because Larson last night goes, oh, this is a big one. It's the, and I just cracked up. Of course it is.
Cult, I love.
They're all big ones. It's like a cult, though, isn't it?
No. We do a Wing Nation sprint car show, and we've had Ricky on the show. We've had Kyle Lars on the show. It is.
Yep.
When you said the word cult a couple years ago, we were chatting. And you said the word cult. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the absolute truth. It is amazing, and you're in the middle of it with Ricky and everyone else. Where's another question? We have one right down front here. Go ahead.
Yes, my 12-year-old is on FaceTime. She's a little girl. She wants to ask you a question about how hard is it as a female? She drag races. She's been doing it for 2 years now, and she just wants to know how hard it is to do all of that, to get into
The top level?
Yes.
I think about that from time to time, and I think to myself, I don't know if I could do it again. Like, I don't know if I would get fortunate enough along the way. I don't know if I had to do it over again and go through the exact same motions. I don't have the energy to do that again. It's so much work. I mean, I started racing when I was 10. I lived in England for 3 years, from 16 to 19 years old. I came back. I didn't have a ride for 2 years. Then I drove for Bobby Rahal. I did Barbara Dodge Pro Series for the end of the 1 year, and then the next year I did 2 years of Formula Atlantic. Then I luckily got moved up right into IndyCar, and I did that for 7 years before I bridged the gap from IndyCar to NASCAR for 2 years at the end of that 7, and now I've been here for 5 years or so. So I've been extremely fortunate, but there's only 40 of us out there. I mean, that's in the whole world, you know. It's hard. It really is. I think that shows how important it is that your whole being is into it and your heart is into it, because you know, it's the old, like, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, if you want it bad enough, you just gotta want it more than the next one. And when you get kicked down, you just gotta stand up one more time than them.
That is great stuff. Final question. There she is right there. Here we go. Yep. Final question right down here, my man. Go ahead.
Hi, Danica. I'm Charles Wan Jr. I'm a diehard fan of yours. I'm from West Virginia, and how's your car handling there, girl?
Thank you. It's all right. You know, we tried a few things in practice, and I think that we kind of settled in where we started. So we went around in a circle, but you know, I think that, you know, the way it's handling, it's a little bit loose in, but I think the way that it rotates on throttle, it gets a good straight drive off. So I know there's a lot to be had here at Richmond by maintaining that drive off. So I'm hopeful.
Fingers crossed. It's going to be a good night here in Richmond, that's for sure. Danica, always a pleasure. Running up Warrior number 10 car.
That's right. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys, for coming out. It's going to be a great night.
It's Danica Patrick joining us here tonight. Next is wrap it all up. Oh, well, yes, there we go. Yeah, got it. Danica Patrick joining us here on the stage. Always a pleasure hanging out with our drivers, and we have had a banner day here at Richmond International Raceway.